So here's the next assignment. It builds on the topics that we are covering currently. Right? We just started covering React, how to create single-page application components, and then this builds on those. This will give us a chance to play around with those concepts. It reuses perhaps some of the same content that we built in the previous assignment a little bit, and adds on top of that some other features. If you remember, right, the course is split into two pieces, right? The first half is they're both building a whole application, but the first half of the semester focuses on building the applications from the point of view of one particular audience, the faculty. The faculty being able to navigate through various courses that they teach, be able to edit those courses, add content and whatnot, and that's what that we're building right now, right? It's we're going to be using the stack for the front end. We're going to be using React. The middle tier, we're using Java, and for the database, later next week, we'll use MySQL. The second half of the semester deals with implementing the second half of the application from the point of view of the student. Right? For that, we're going to use a different stack. We'll use the Angular for the front end, Node.js for the middle tier, and MongoDB for the database. They're all going to work together, right? But for different audiences. So we're still in the building content, the application for the faculty, and as a faculty, I like to be able to look at courses, list courses, perhaps either in a tabular format, or I would like to also display them in a grid format, right? And I should be able to toggle between the two. Here's a toggle button that allows me to either look at it in list view. If you click on list view, you see this representation. If you click on the grid view, it toggles back to this other representation. Yes, right? This is all dynamic. It's going to be using a static JSON object, but it will use that JSON object to dynamically render these pages. Right? So these are not hard-coded HTML content. Instead, it iterates over a data model, and as it iterates over the data model, it renders these dynamically. Make sense? So yesterday, we started playing around with this. Right? We looked at how to render cards, right? Bootstrap cards. These could definitely be implemented using Bootstrap Cards. The look and feel, it doesn't have to look like this. You can make it look much prettier. Anything that is better than this is good. It would be acceptable. But the functionality should be the same. Right? The functionality should be that I dynamically go fetch some array of courses, and I iterate and display them either as a list here or tabular format, and I can navigate to a grid version of this. Make sense? Right? And everything is responsive. Yes?
I see a sorting button. Do you need to sort?
No sorting for this part. Right now, it's just an icon. Yeah, but there will be later on a mechanism for doing that. Yes. Okay. And again, this is all client side. We've played around with manipulating users and fetching users and creating users. We've used Spring Boot to implement the middle tier, right? But the front end we use jQuery. Yes. We haven't seen yet how to interact with the server using React. Right. We'll do that next week. Right. We haven't gotten to that yet. Then if you click on any one of these courses, right? Either you click through the list version or you click through the grid version, you navigate to what it's called a course editor, right? So it navigates to a course editor that allows you to edit the course, right? As a course editor, you should be able to add modules to the course, and the course editor allows you to add various types of content in the course. A course is built up of multiple modules, right? On the left-hand side, so we need a split left-hand side, right-hand side split. We played around with that a little bit yesterday, right? How to achieve this layout. On the left-hand side, you have a list of dynamic modules, and on the right-hand side, you have tabs at the top, right, that display the multiple lessons that somebody can create. I can create any number of lessons. And then each lesson can have any number of topics. Yes? To add topics, we have an add button here. I can add modules, I can add topics, I can add lessons, right? And you're free to implement that any which way you want. If you want to have an input field here where you can type the name of the module and then you click on plus, it adds the module, right? If you want to create here maybe an input field that allows you to type the name of the lesson and then click on plus, it adds it. Or some people prefer that if you click on plus, it pops up a small dialog where you can type the name of the module or type the name of the lesson or type the name of the topic. Yes? You can do that. You're free to choose which way you want. If you want the form right on the page or if you prefer right on as a dialog. Some folks prefer to, when you click on plus, it appears, right? The entry appears there. You're free to, finagle any which way you prefer. Also, notice that there's a delete button on all these, right? So you should be able to do an X and it removes it, right? Obviously, this is all removed within the client. We're not making this permanent, right? We're not sending these changes to the server. Right? If you refresh the page, it goes back to its original state. Yes? So this is all temporary, maintained. The state is maintained in the client, right? If you ever refresh the page, it resets to its original state. Same thing with the lessons and the topics. Notice that it doesn't show the X's, but it is implied that these all can be removed. Okay? Either you can hover over it and then the X button appears, right? And then you can click on the X button and to remove the topic or the lesson. Also, as you navigate through these modules, as you navigate and you click on a different module, or when you click on a particular tab, or the corresponding output, the corresponding content appears on the right-hand side. So if I click on Module 1, it would show the lessons for Module 1. If I click on Lesson 1, it shows a topic for Lesson 1 for Module 1. Make sense? It's like a hierarchy, right? There's the course, has many modules. Each module has many lessons. Each lesson has many topics. And this allows me to navigate from the course down to the modules, down to the lesson, down to the topic. Everybody good? Okay. There's a couple other features that would have been really cool, being able to move modules around, like drag modules and change the order. We'll tackle that a little later. Same thing with lessons. They should be able to just grab a lesson and just move it around between lessons. We'll do that a little later. Okay? Yes?
So back to the course list, we're changing our existing page to be able to be displayed in like a grid now. Are we supposed to port that over to React?
Yeah, so use the same exact HTML that you created for earlier, right? And you're going to wrap that inside of a a React component, right? It could be stateless, right? And it just needs to receive the list of courses that you want to render, right? Somebody's going to have to pass it, right? The list of courses, and it'll iterate over those list of courses, rendering either as a list or as a grid. Okay? Yes. What's the widget? The widget. Okay, so widgets on the right-hand side are various widgets that you can add the actual content, right? Notice that everything else is for navigation purposes, right? Being able to navigate from a course down to the modules, down to the lessons, down to the topics. Now, only topics actually contain content, right? And that content can either be, it could be a video, right? It could be an image. It could be a paragraph. It could be a heading, right? It could be a list. It could be all sorts of things that I could add to the page. Yes? And there's a couple of widgets. Now, for this part of the assignment, these widgets are going to be static. Right? We're not gonna make them dynamic. Right? In the next assignment, we'll make them dynamic. Right? And in this one, these are just going to be static. There's going to be, I think it's 4 types of widgets. There's a heading widget. there's actually it's referring to another document. I'll include it in here. There's 4 types of widgets. There's a list widget, there's a paragraph widget, there's a heading widget, and there's an image widget, right? And I'll include it in here. But that needs to be just static. Of course, it'll be part of some component, right? Some component, and so it'll be static. So no matter which topic you choose, it'll always show the same thing. Next week, right, in the next assignment, we'll finish that part. We'll introduce Redux. We'll introduce state management through Redux, whatnot. And depending on which topic, you'll display different content, right? Depending on which module, which section, which topic, you display different types of content. For now, this portion, right, it'll be static, right? Yes, makes sense. That's it. That's the second assignment. Any other questions? Yes. Yeah, so there'll be 2 repos, right? There'll be a Java repo, which we're going to leave it alone for a couple of this week and next week. We'll leave it alone for now. Instead, this is a brand new repo, the one we created yesterday. We created a React repo, right, where we're going to host all this content, all right? And it'll deploy to Heroku, and then make it available. And then as a deliverable, you'll provide a link to your new repo, right, and a link to your Heroku running this app. Okay. Any questions? Yes. Thursday.
Okay.
Next Thursday. So you have a full week working on this. Anything else? All right, excellent. So let's hop back on. Let's see where we left off yesterday, right? And we can keep working on what we need to learn how to work on get started on this assignment.